Something sure to be a talking point tonight, election security. President Trump says mail-in ballots can lead to voter fraud. So should you trust the process? Our Nicole Valdez getting an inside look at the security measures in place to make sure your vote counts.
For a long time, people just didn't pay a lot of attention to. Now they're paying attention.
It's under fire, being questioned, scrutinized by many, including our president.
Let them send it in and let them go vote. If it isn't calculated, they'll be able to vote. So that's the way it is. And that's what they should do.
And for some, that doubt is working.
I'm a very trusting person, but just the last few years I've gotten pretty bad.
Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fontes.
It doesn't surprise me, but it does disappoint me because at the end of the day, again, the process is and has always been a bipartisan process. It's always been above board. We've always had multiple layers of accountability built in.
So how do you know your vote's gonna count?
Well, for one, it starts with you. When you get your hands on your ballot, inside this yellow envelope, your ballot and a green return envelope. On the back of that envelope is where you're going to want to make sure to sign it and put your phone number. That's how election officials are going to get in touch with you if something isn't right. Then you send it back, either by mail or you can drop it off at any vote center or drop box.
Then the behind-the-scenes work begins. First, your ballot is scanned.
It's a unique code to each person who is registered to vote.
Then signature verified. The team at Maricopa County trained professionals to identify specific handwriting to confirm you are the one that signed your ballot. But some voters, like Susan Chiswick, worried a small issue could reject her ballot.
Now that my new paranoid self began to think about that, I thought, I better find this out before Election Day.
Maricopa County election officials say they verify signatures by comparing the one on your ballot to the one on your voter registration card, your driver's license, and others. But Chiswick says she signed both differently, one with her full name and another with a middle initial.
So I began to wonder, will they accept what's on my driver's license, or do they want me to write the entire thing out? Will one of those two be rejected? And if so, which one?
The answer, they should still be able to verify it's you.
Sometimes signatures change, but there's always like little points that you have to check for that show you, even though this signature may have changed slightly, this is still accurate, and this is something that would be very difficult to forge.
Then comes the count. Ballots run through tabulators, and then a second count, what Fontes calls the checks and balances.
We've built a bipartisan team here in Maricopa County that includes not just the majority Republican Board of Supervisors and a Democrat at the Recorder's Office, but we've got judges and observers appointed by political parties, and we audit in a hand count audit the numbers at the end to make sure that we're solid in the tabulation that we do on the front side.
But if you still have doubts,
we also invite them to watch us because we have cameras here.
Maricopa County streaming what happens in this room 24/7 once there's a live ballot in there. So when the count happens, you can watch it in real time for yourself. But what about the notion of voting twice? In Maricopa County, they're confident the county system prevents that.
As soon as they check in and they swipe their ID and they check in, it will be flagged that we've already counted a ballot from them. So then they wouldn't be able to vote twice.
But if a voter still shows up at the polls, the county by law is required to hand each person a ballot. So you'll get a provisional one. Then it's up to election officials to figure out if you already cast your ballot or not.
Americans like a good, fair fight, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And your vote is your swing, right? You get to take a swing, and we're going to count it for you no matter which side you're swinging for.
And that's exactly what we want to make sure happens. So email us at yourvote@abc15.com with any problems or questions you have to make sure your vote counts. I'm Nicole Valdez, ABC 15, Arizona.